Hey YouTubers, this is Secondhand Dan coming to you again from Homosassa, Florida land. It is Friday, February, I think it's the 7th. Anyway, it's like 72 degrees. It's cloudy today, you know. When the sun shines directly on you, when it's 72 degrees in Florida, it can start to feel hot, but I'm grateful for the cloudiness right now. What I'm up to is, let's get it in frame, cannibalizing this Honda 1963 Bentley motorcycle. I'm trying to get my money back. It's one of those things where I thought, hey, this could be some easy money. Well, it hasn't been easy. I listed the thing as a whole on eBay for $450. I had some watchers, no inquiries, no offers, so I decided to break it down and part it out. As you can see, I started on this last night. Here it is, like 11 o'clock in the afternoon the following day. It was no easy feat. I mean, it wasn't insane, but to take the wheel off of something like this, it's not like taking it off your dirt bike where you just, pull the axle bolt and maybe one other nut for the cable. It was complicated. It has drum brakes, and it also has a speedometer going to the front. How's that work? Oop. And some kind of a sway link. I guess this is what causes the front brakes to actuate, because this has to be attached to your frame so this part doesn't rotate when you hit the brakes, just like the old coaster brakes on your bicycle. So this was needed to stabilize that. And here's the brake lever, which actuates the brake shoes, standard drum brake shoes. You can see that the drum is part of the wheel on a motorcycle. You just can't take the drum off. It's all held into there with the spokes. Although this is cast aluminum, it's probably a press fit into there. They probably, heat up one or the other and drop it in there. I'm thinking maybe if you just heat up the rim a little bit, you could probably press that in there. And when that expands, it probably grips it, because that's going to be a cast metal, and this is aluminum metal. All right, bearings. It should turn even on my fingers. It doesn't. So they're a little snug right now. Here's where the speedometer goes. I like to think this is a salvageable part. I mean, I'll look into it, do a little research. I could ship it off, not too much problem. I'll probably be tempted if, I think the tire itself probably adds more weight to the wheel, probably just as equal to the weight of the wheel itself if I was to get the tire off. But I'm sure as dry rotted and shrunk as it is, that would be laborsome. So I don't know, maybe I'll just make sure I put the shipping high enough to cover all that dead weight. So the motor seems to be frozen up. So I've turned this thing upside down, which is going to make it a lot easier to get a lot of the parts off of it, like I used to do with a bicycle when I was a kid. The motor seems to be frozen up. I've put some lubricant inside the cylinders. The plugs came out rather easily, and I checked the oil dipstick. I mean, it was definitely some nasty looking oil, but it didn't seem to have water in it. But I can't even get the shifter to go into any neutral position, so I've been unable to roll this thing around because it just comes to a stop. This is what's unique about this motorcycle, is the chain is enclosed in a chain guard, both the top and bottom. So, yeah, hang out with me and let's see about, you know, taking a couple more parts off of this thing. Hopefully I can part it out and get some money back. The front fender is, let's see, it's over there. Let's see if I can get you a closer up. There it is. See, it's sitting on the ramp to my shed. So I've gotten the front fender off. I've listed it on eBay, so hopefully we'll get a taker on that. Some fenders to these things have been selling in the $60, $75 range, so be nice if I get something like that on my fender. I definitely want to get the headlight assembly off. The badges, basically I'm going to break it down, even if I think the part isn't a resellable part, just because it'll make it easier to get this thing the heck out of my life, even if I have to start throwing stuff on the scrap heap, because I can't keep something like this around. It's becoming the proverbial white elephant. I mean, I kind of regret buying it, but I'm not like deeply in regret, you know. It's a little bit fun working on it, breaking it down. So let me set you back up in the tripod and you can watch. Well, I guess since y'all was watching me, I may as well go for the big unit here. Let's see if we can get the motor off. But there are some things, I guess, blocking the motor. I have this kickstand foot peg assembly, and that's blocked by the brake lever assembly. And okay, so brake lever and then foot peg, kickstand, and then we'll look into what it takes to unbolt the motor. Now the kickstand, or not the kickstand, the brake pedal is held on with a, looks like a, what do they call it, carter pin. So let's take the carter pin off. Pair of pliers here. Let's get the screwdriver so I can start to lift the carter pin up even before I pinch it with the pliers. Neighbors have some dogs, and you know, they're not a real headache, but they're always yipping and yapping every time they hear a noise from over here. And they're only you know, lap dogs, so I don't have to worry about them coming over here, leaping the fence and taking a bite out of me. I'm glad they don't have anything more aggressive than the lap dogs. All right, the pin is pretty well rusted, this carter pin. So I am going to go get my cutoff tool. All right, got my DeWalt 18-volt cutoff. So I'm going to shear the carter pin on the top and the bottom. I find a lot of times you want to stabilize it with two hands when you can, especially this one doesn't have a screw-in handle. It's just a pistol grip, rifle grip, I guess. Okay, pins are cut. Am I close enough to, yeah, probably jam the washer off now. There's a washer behind the carter pin. There we go. It's opening up. Alternate down each side of this large washer. Okay, there it goes. All right, did I lose it? That's the problem with everything here is colored when you're working on older things. It's colored like the ground here. It's pretty bad when everything is like mulchy hay and weeds. Okay, got a return spring over there. I'm gonna have to disconnect something else. By the way, how do you like my secondhand shirt? Old police officer shirt from the neighborhood, McKeesport Police back in Pittsburgh. I got about 4 of these things. They make great work shirts. Okay, you have to, there's an adjustment thumb wheel on here. Bye. All right, it's cooperating. Come on, hanging on by a thread or two. I thought maybe I'd take all the hardware when after I've disassembled my hardware. I mean nuts and bolts and pins and put it all on one lot and see if somebody wants to buy the hardware. There we go. Yep. Occasionally I can feel that sun on my back heating me up. There's the, I'm not sure exactly what you would call that, but lever, pin. Okay, so now if I get the brake lever off, oh no, oh geez, it still is behind. I can't see what's going on in the camera here. I need to turn up the brightness. Okay, the next issue is, what is this? I'm going to have to lift this up high enough to get it from behind this control arm to take the brake pedal off. So there is, yeah, excuse all the, it's not quite like Tim. Tim the Tool Man. All right, well there's another clip behind there. It's really in a difficult place. I can't get the cutoff wheel in there. Would have been nice if the Carter pin was on the outside instead of on the inside. But sometimes you can just, Carter pins, they rust enough, you can force them apart. Now just the ends will break off, but it's not in a good place. This is going to be a little bit of aggravation. Hold on. You can see I'm between the rock and a hard place. I'm trying to get in, let's see, where am I? Can't see where I'm at with the camera in front of the way. There we go. We're down here. All right, where the end of the blade is. Now focus, camera, focus. Get some great focus for this on the wrong thing. Now I want you to know what I'm working on. There we go. We're right about, this ain't working out. All right, well, take my word for it. It's in a tight place. I can't get to it, so I'm probably gonna have to run the Sawzall in there and saw that pin in half. I'll show you after I get it. Okay, well, I've gone ahead and got my DeWalt 18-volt reciprocating saw. So I am going to cut the pin that is holding the linkage in place. 18-volt DeWalt. I was at the auction and there was a seemingly unused 18-volt drill and the matching flashlight. And was there one battery with it? And I thought, cool. I wouldn't mind upgrading my drill. It looks pretty well beat. That thing went for $60. I thought, well, 18 volt was history, but evidently they're still worth some money. And I've got here probably about at least 10 different 18 volt tools. So I'd rather maybe cash these in at the auction and switch to 20 volt. But no hurry. Let's see. Spring's in the way. Spring is in the way. Get the pliers, pull the spring. And would you believe, you probably forgot what we're after. We're after the motor, but nowhere near working on the motor yet. I think I'll just cut this spring rather than wrestle with it and exhaust my strength. And for what? It's just a spring. Nobody needs it. There we go. The spring has sprung. Garbage. Okay, now maybe I can get okay. Running out of battery. All right, it made it through. Just before the battery crapped out. Okay. Pull that up out of the way. There we go. That's what I cut because I couldn't get access to the Carter pin. Okay, that takes that off. And that enables me to pull this lever up just past the swing arm here. So now I can work it off. I'm probably going to need some WD in there. Oh, there's a WD. Okay, am I putting more tension on? Yeah. That's the thing, as I pull it up to get it off, I'm putting more tension on the brake return spring. So, can I slide the spring and the lever towards me as I progress here? Na 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 na. Okay, screwdriver uses a pry bar, and I don't see it. Hammer. Okay, we're making some progress. It's going in the right direction. Even for a Honda, this is probably over-engineered. All right. I don't want to wail on it with the hammer because hopefully the brake pedal is resellable. It's creeping. Hold on, my back is not enjoying this. Okay, I think we're in the zone now. Let's bring it on home. Say that spring's fighting against me. It's coming. It's progressing. It's a lot of effort. Okay, well, it looks like the spring is hitting the center stand bolt. But fortunately, that's going to be easy to... It was already undone on the other side. I don't know if anyone's going to need a new center stand, but we'll look into that. Come on, baby! It should pop off. Why would you go 3/4 of the way and then want to give me a battle? This is why, I have to admit, I'm somewhat embarrassed, doing this video, that something that a lot of you people who are probably into motorcycles, this would be simple. I mean, I am a mechanic, at least I was in the past, but still you run into some things that are just overly aggravating that should be simple. Got it. Whew. Starting to wear me out. Well, I'm thinking that should be a resellable part. Okay, we did all that so I could get the foot peg kickstand assembly off. All right, let's not lose the brake pedal spring. Well, I've been doing these YouTube, do they call them blogs? Vlog, I guess it's a vlog, V for video. These YouTube vlogs for over a year now, and I have yet to cross paths with somebody else that's doing it. So I haven't been able to pick anybody's brain about, give me your tricks of the trade, so to speak. I mean, I'm using my cell phone camera. Is that typically the low-end way to do it, or is that widely acceptable? I know it's aggravating because I have to reach out to pause it all the time. I bought a device and there was a remote, but when you would pause it, the video would stop. And not only did it, it didn't pause it, it stopped it. So you'd have to start a video again and splice the two together later. Should I really be using a GoPro? I don't know. I thought it was pretty slick when I upgraded to a cordless lapel mic, but I still could use some input. I'm willing to invest. I'm willing to get a better computer, the hardware and software to maybe do some editing at the computer, but I don't know what to buy or what's the low end versus the high end. I know usually money would tell you that to some extent, but not always. Because there could be two high-end items that cost the same, and one is foolery compared to the other one. So I hope to meet somebody eventually that says, yeah, I vlog at least once a week or every other week. You know, somebody's doing that kind of stuff, so I can pick their brain. So I hope that happens soon. Anyway, I'm prepared to take off the center stand here. The center stand also is the, actually it's not the center stand, it's the foot pegs and the kickstand. So that's going to be easy. In fact, the bolts are already loose. Let's get the right side ratchet. Please like and subscribe. They all say it. I don't want to be the only one that doesn't say it. Especially if I'm missing out on some likes and subscribes by not saying it. I know, would you believe a nut fell right down in between the crankcase. There's a hole here. Not inside into the crankcase, but just like I guess a casting hole. I lost a nut went down there. It'll probably fall out when I turn it over, but if it doesn't get lost in the sand. Dropped the lock washer, but I see it. But lock washers aren't important. I mean, the nut's not terribly important either, but... Now, why couldn't the brake lever have come off that easy? All right, well, I can tell the... I think that foot pegs are bent. I don't know. In proportion, yeah, I think they're bent. But that's anybody with a big vise, clamp it in their vise, put a pipe on it and straighten them out. Okay. Now what to attack? I'm tripping over the tools. Let's move some of that stuff out of the way. Brake cheater pipe, crowbar, hammer, D-walt cut off. Okay. Now, if I'm going to get this engine out of here, oh wow, the top of the carburetor has, for some reason, sprung open. I mean, I don't know why that occurred. Was it just from the pounding and the vibrations caused that to come off of there? Didn't expect that. I should try and slip that back on there, thread that back on, or try and keep dirt out of that area. You know, I was talking to one fellow that knows his motorcycles pretty well. He does a lot of vintage work on motorcycles, and he told me that, and I listened to him. He told me take the plugs out and put the solution in there now while it's still in the frame to try and loosen up this motor, because I guess then you have more leverage. I did that, but maybe I'm impatient. I only waited a couple of hours and then tried to work the kickstand and still nothing happened. I don't have high hopes for it freeing up, so I'm just going to go ahead and take it off. Now there's a bolt here. It goes to the top of the motor and then back here. For some reason, they're loose. So I don't know why things would be loose. Was somebody looking at taking the motor out and stop part way through? All right, well, may as well start with what's right in our faces here. A pair of these. Too small. Bigger one I threw in the bin over here. I'm going to need the wrench anyway. So while I'm over here, maybe this 1/2-inch drive also has the right size in it. Okay, it's turning. It's only on by maybe 3 or 4 threads anyway. Well, pick up that nut. Add it to the hardware collection. The other one is under the chain guard. Now we'll get back to that one. Let's see about the one that's up front forward. It too looks like it's been backed out at one point, although it's a different size. It's smaller than a 16. 15 it is. Okay, what's my wrench? Is that it? Nope. My wrench is a 1917. Not the year, it's a 19 millimeter and a 17 millimeter. I need to go get a 15 millimeter because I could double up on 15 millimeter sockets if I had 2 sockets, because I do have the extra 3/8 drive ratchet, but I don't have the other socket. This is 15. I only have one right here. Got the 15 millimeter wrench from the workshop. Okay. Oh, it's turning easy. This bike is a mystery. I mean, somebody left so many things loose on it, but you know, it's 95% all here, so I don't know what's going on, why they loosened things up and didn't. Okay, I'm not going to knock that one all the way out until I get some pressure off this one over here. I said this one's behind the chain guard. And I'm probably going to want to take that chain guard off anyway, because of course the chain goes up there and wraps around a gear in the transmission, and since things aren't turning, I might just cut that chain. All right, so to get in there, I mean, you could get the nut off, but then the bolt would still be through the frame. So I think you have to take this whole cover off here to get the nut, the bolt out of it. All right, well, let me pick up this hardware. I got it resting here on this railroad tie, and it's going to happen if I don't pick it up. I'm going to end up bumping it and knocking it all into the grass. I remember the first time I tried to take an engine out of a car. I wanted to take it out just because I'd never taken an engine out of a car. And I probably got them all out except maybe 1 or 2 ones that I didn't know existed. And this was back when I was like, 19 or something like that. So I think there was in the dust cover for the bell housing, maybe some sheet metal screws. Still holding on, so that prevented me from taking that engine out of that car. But eventually I learned what I was doing. I swapped probably over my life, 5, 6 engines. All right, so I'm going to need a screwdriver on those. What surprised me the other day, the internet being the wealth of information that it is, that it told me that the square screw, the one with the square in the center instead of this in the center, basically came out before the Phillips screw, and that Henry Ford wanted exclusive to it, and the guy that held the copyright wouldn't give it to him. So Henry Ford went to the Phillips screw. So imagine what a different world it would be if the majority of our screws were the square heads instead of the Phillips. I'd be happy with that. I know I use I've used square drivers, screws on, I think, like deck screws. But now, Torx heads, I guess, have surpassed them both. Now, see, even these screws are backed out already. Okay, let me see. I'm not complaining. It's just, you know, I hate a little mystery with that I can't solve. Why would somebody have backed out so many different things and not gone totally through with whatever their purpose was? All right, well, this cover here, what's behind here? Okay, what's holding it on? I took off the big thumb wheel. Oh, just pins. Come on. There we go. Hopefully somebody will want to buy this. All right. Why is this screw flopping around? Because it's connected. It's like a sandwich between, there's a front cover and a back cover. See the back part here, so that's why it's flopping around. And it's also frozen, which means I gotta go get some vice grips. All right, well, I got my vice grips, my PM vice grips, which I'm pretty sure means Popular Mechanics, like the magazine. And we all know that, yeah, right, Popular Mechanics bought a factory and started making tools. No. Someone just said, hey, Popular Mechanics, you want to go in on a deal? If we put your name on some tools, you'll get part of the money that we make from them. So Popular Mechanics, I'm sure, said, sure, go ahead and do it. I'm not sure if they even checked out the quality of the tool. But these are Taiwan. And I guess Taiwan's definitely, it tends to be a step above China as far as quality. I have a Grizzly table saw that was made in Taiwan, and it's pretty impressive. All right. What? Look at this. All this time this thing wouldn't roll around in my yard. I thought it was because, you know, it was connected to the motor, and that since the motor wouldn't turn, it wouldn't go in neutral, the chain's not even on. So that means the chain's laying in a bunch inside the chain guard. So that's a surprise. All right, well, we can deal with that. What I'm having a hard time dealing with is the fact that I removed this cover so I could back out the nut that's going in the rear of the engine block holding it onto the frame, but the backside of the cover is still in the way. And to get the cover out, it looks like you have to pull the swing arm. All right. Why wouldn't they design that to... So that means you got to take the swing arms off to remove the motor. Hey, caramba! And to take the swing arm off, you got to take the shocks off. All this to get the motor out. I mean, I could do a cheat and just cut that nut, but I don't know, because eventually I'm going to be taking this stuff off anyway. But I know we just set out to take the motor off, but yet I have to take so much more other stuff off. To get the swing arm off, I got to take the chain guard off. All right. Very interesting, but difficult. All right. I don't need the big ratchet. Need the small ratchet. 3/8 drive, where are you? There it is. Okay, get the right socket out for her. But it looks to be the cover nuts for the chain. Oh, no resistance there. Right into the straw, the hay, that bolt went. I'm sure it's not very important, but it's just kind of the principle of the thing sometimes. You like to think you had a handle on everything and you weren't going to lose stuff needlessly, but let it go. I'll tell you what, we'll make sure we don't lose this one up here. And truth be known, if I go, I've got a big magnet. I can just sweep it over the grass there and it'll find it. Okay. There's one in the rear as well. Only it's a bolt with a nut on it. So I don't feel like running back just for one wrench. Vice grips are going to hold this? Yes. Okay. And off comes the cover. Ooh, isn't that attractive? Mountain of rust. Rolls freely now. Makes me wish I'd done that earlier. Then I'd be next to the workshop. Workshop's down there. I'm up here, but I wasn't about to dead drag this thing all the way down there. Alrighty, what's next? Alright, well, we've been at this for a while now, so let's do a part 2. Give you a break, give me a break. I'm gonna go clean up and maybe see about putting something on eBay from this machine. Maybe I'll put that what is it, a dust cover? That item right there. Look that up on eBay and see that, and look up my brake lever. See if that's eBay worthy. All right, well, Thanks for sticking with me. We'll see you guys later. Bye.